Well, hey everybody, welcome back once again to Photoshop Elements TV. I'm your host Jack, and I'm going to give you a little demonstration here of how to make a Polaroid picture out of any photo that you may have taken. And I think this is just a cool edit because it gives you that kind of classic old style look of a Polaroid, if you remember those from the old Polaroid Instamatic cameras. So as you can see here, the final product of what I created, and there's so much we can do about this, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So what we're going to do first is we're going to revert this image. So revert under edit, and there you go. So we're going to take all that editing away that I just created to show you here in the opener. So the first thing we're going to need to do, as always, hit Command J on a Mac or Control J on your Windows computer and create a second layer. Just create a second layer just to save that background image so we don't destroy that. And click the little eyeball on the background image because you won't be needing it. The next thing you're going to do is simply go up to where it says Image, Resize, and we're going to resize the canvas. We're going to resize the canvas size, not the image size, because resizing the image size will resize the whole entire image. We're just resizing the canvas that the picture is riding on. So let's go ahead and resize canvas. And as you can see here, the actual canvas is starting out at 56 by 42. That's the actual camera or the actual canvas size that we have right this moment. What we want to do is we want to increase the canvas size, but make sure that your canvas extension color down at the bottom is set to white. So it's set to white because we want that Polaroid look. Alright, and what I want to do here first of all is we're just going to test the waters. What I mean by that is we'll just change this top number. You can see where they're about, 10 off roughly, right? Something like that. Let's just change this top number to 65. And we'll change this bottom number to 50. Once you do that, and you can change this as much as you want. I'll show you that. So once you do that, click OK. You can see right away where we got that canvas size, that background size. Let's go ahead and click on the background here. And the reason we're turning the background back on is because we want it white. Notice what happens is if we turn that off, it's a transparent layer. So we'll talk about transparencies and transparent layers down the road. And we'll also talk more about layers down the road and using layers. This is just a brief demonstration. But we want the background on because we want that to fill with white is how that works. All right, so we need that background. But you see now that the size and the dimensions are a little bit off. What I mean by that, a Polaroid, if you remember the old Polaroid, when you pulled it out of that camera, the ends were a little longer than it was the height-wise. So what we want to do here is kind of duplicate that look. So let's go back to Image, and we'll go down to Resize and back to Canvas. As I said, this stayed, right? 65 by 50. So what we want to do is make the width longer. So let's make the width a little longer. We're going to make that 70. And we're going to make the height a little thinner. We're going to make that 45. So let's go ahead and actually have a look at this now and see what it looks like. And it says it's going to make it smaller and resize some things. That's fine. Let's proceed. Now you have it looking exactly like I started, exactly like we want it to look. We want it to look like that Polaroid. Now what I was telling you in the beginning, I said there's a little more you can do with this if you want, and you can dress it up a little bit. You can do things like add text. When you add text, look at the text tool at the bottom, and we'll talk more about different styles of text later in these lessons here on Photoshop Elements TV. But right now we're just going to use the standard down text. And all you have to do is just click your mouse over here and make sure you have your sizes set to 48 so we can see what this looks like. And we'll just type something like my motorcycle. Okay, click OK. What's nice about this text is you can just drag it on the corner here, and we can drag this out, and it will resize it. We can move it around just by moving it with our mouse. But you can see just very easily you can use those white spaces to create a really, really cool picture that you can use for framing or putting it up, on in your office. Maybe you want this to be sitting on your desk. Maybe it's pictures of your kids and you want to have their names on the left and right side of the photo here. So there's a lot you can do with this Polaroid looking picture, or just leave it as a Polaroid. And when you have these printed, it will be printed this way in this style, and you'll have it laid out there for you. To save this, a lot of people say, well, Jack, you never tell us how to save. Just go to File and do a Save As. And we're going to do a Save As here. Now, if you save it as a PSD file, let me go to my pictures. I'm in my pictures here. And we'll just, I don't think I have a folder here called Projects. No. I'm going to make a new folder called Projects. And as you see, my cap lock key was on. That kind of drives me crazy. Projects. All right, let's create projects. Now, if you save it as a PSD file, my motorcycle. If you save it as a PSD file, that's a Photoshop file. When you save it as a PSD, you'll save all of your work. What I mean by that is all of these layers over here on the right will be intact if you open that up again to re-edit it. So it makes it really handy. What I normally do on projects is I will save it as a PSD file, but I will also take this and save it as a JPEG. Remember, folks, you can't have a PSD file printed. It's just not going to work out for you. When you take it in and you stick that flash drive into a printer kiosk, it's not going to recognize a PSD file. So what you want to do is, if you don't want to save all of your work, you can go down to the pull-down menu and save it as a JPEG file. What JPEG does is JPEG is going to compress all of these layers down to one layer. It merges those and it saves it as a JPEG. Put that on the thumb drive. You can upload it to developers or whatever you wish and have it printed and shipped back to your house. So I'll hit save. The next thing you're going to see here is quality. If you're having anything printed, make the quality large file. If you're taking this picture and putting it on social media or whatever, you could take this all the way back down probably to 4, maybe even to 3. You can see the size here, 1.9 megabit. Okay, so it's a smaller file. Again, if you want to print it, bring it all the way up to 12. It's 11.0 megabits, which is still not really huge. You can fit a lot of those on your thumb drive to have printed. But it's going to give you the best quality picture that you're having printed. Or if you maybe want to blow this up, again, that'll give you the best quality of photo with the most pixels retained. When we're uploading to the social media or a website, you don't need that many pixels because the monitor will see it as it sees it. Click OK. And that's it. Your picture is saved, and that is your new Polaroid. So folks, I hope you've liked this short tutorial. I'm trying to keep these as short as possible and to the point without a lot of dialogue that we don't need, but you need to learn Photoshop Elements. So please, if you can, click that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. And hit the little bell notification, and as I put these up, these little tutorial videos, you will get notified right away, and then you can sit and practice. And when you're practicing, remember, just stop the video, scrub through it, scrub back, and do what you want with it. Again, thanks for watching Photoshop Elements TV, and until next time, keep those shutters clicking and keep the editors editing. I'll see you back here very soon. Thanks, and bye for now.